What's up everybody, and today we are going over the top 5 easiest hunters to play in Smite. And this doesn't apply to any particular game mode, we're just talking about mechanically, knowledge speaking, which gods are easiest to play in this role. And this list is obviously my opinion, and people are going to have a different list than mine, and if it does differ greatly, please go down to the comment section, leave your top 5 list, and give a little reasoning behind it. So without further ado, let's jump right into it. Coming at number 5, we have Apollo. The reason why I have him at number 5 is because he has a lot of ways that you can escape the enemy. And when you are a new player, having escapes is very, very, very good. It's going to get you out of a lot of sticky situations using your Serenade, which is a mez, and your 3, the moves, which is a dash. So using those two, you're not going to die as much with Apollo as you would other hunters that don't have as high mobility as him. And as a last resort, you also have your ult across the sky, which allows you to reliably escape and put a lot of distance between you and the people who might be chasing you down. And it's also good, obviously, for running down enemies, traveling across the map as quickly as you possibly can. Another factor that makes Apollo so easily played is that his 1 is a very good clear, and you also have a very easy and no-brainer passive. Audacity, after 10 successful basic attacks, you get 100% buff to your attack speed for the next 5 attacks, which is essentially a passive that you don't really even need to think about too much, as opposed to other gods where you actively have to be thinking about them in order to really make it play out in your kit. Number 4, we have Artemis. Artemis is what some people would consider to be a difficult god to play because you have no escape. That is the one true flaw of her kit, is that she doesn't have a dash or any extremely reliable way to get out of a misplay or a gank. And if she did have a dash instead of her 1 Transgressor's Fate, I wouldn't have a doubt that she would be either number 1 or number 2 on this list. But the fact that she does have a major flaw limits her to number 4. But the good thing about Artemis is that she has a very easy to use passive, which essentially gives you the probability, a really small probability, of critting your target. So you don't have to think about it at all. Just by hitting basic attacks, you are benefiting from your passive. You also have a good ult that gives you CC immunity for a short time and helps you really clean up in a team fight. Add in the fact that you have a buff to your auto attacks, very easy to use, safe, reliable poke and clear method, and suppressed insolent, and you have all the makings of an easy hunter to play. Number 3, we have Neith. Now you're probably thinking, why isn't she number 1 easiest hunter to play in Smite? I'm going to tell you my reasoning for her not holding that number 1 spot, and that is I don't see new players effectively using Neith's combo of using backflip, which places a weave where you first leap, and then hitting the spirit arrow directly after. One of the hardest things that newbies can grasp in Smite are ability combos, and to really get the most out of Neith, you have to be using your backflip offensively in certain situations, which I don't see being done very often. Generally, the backflip is used as a last resort escape, so people like to hold on to it and not use it in any type of offensive situation. But what makes Neith really easy to play is that she does have some pretty good sustain. She can use Unravel to heal and also benefit off of those weaves as well. Her Spirit Arrow is a very good clear method and damaging method that also roots an enemy. And the World Weaver ult is extremely easy to use. All you have to do is line it up with the enemy god, wait for it to charge or not, and you're gonna hit it. So it's very reliable and effective tool. Your team fight may not be the greatest, but overall she's very, very easy to use. At number 2, we have Medusa. Medusa was one of the first gods that I ever played in Smite, and I really fell in love with her kit, and she ended up being one of my first level 10 masteries as well. Now what makes her really easy to play is her Sidewinder passive is really good. So you can move left or right, strafing, and not incur a movement penalty, and also backwards as well. You move faster than the other gods. You have a very reliable poke and acid spray, which allows you to whittle down your opponent very easily. All you need is to hit that acid off of a wave with your opponent in the general area, and you're going to get them down slowly. And Medusa was even easier to play when Bluestone Pendant was around, because you could just whittle the crap out of people early game, and they would just have to go to base, you would get up in levels, and it was almost over at that point. Your team fight's pretty good with your ult, the cone. It's really easy to hit, doesn't really take too much skill. You can combo that with Lacerate and Viper Shot. You will probably clean up all the squishies if you can hit most of your abilities and auto attacks. Not to mention, your Lacerate can also be used as an escape, and you have almost the perfect newbie kit for a hunter. The moment you've all been waiting for, the easiest hunter to play in Smite is Hachiman, Lord of the 8 Banners, and the reason why he is number 1 in my opinion is because of Heavenly Banner and the versatility of this attack. Most people will use this as their poke. It's extremely easy to hit. You're going to hit this about 90% of the time or higher, and when you accumulate all that damage you're going to do with that poke ability throughout a game, it's just incredible. And you'll also use this as a transition point to the late game, when you'll be using this mainly as a way to buff your attack speed, take out towers, and phoenixes. People who are more comfortable with Hachiman will use the Heavenly Banner as the initiation to your prime combination, which is to drop down the banner on your opponent, dash into stun, and when you're in that banner radius, your attack speed is boost. So you're just lighting people up with your autos. You're going to get that K most of the time. It's really easy to use. In terms of the comboing abilities of the hunters, I consider this to be one of the easiest combos you can possibly land, and the overall effectiveness is really high. You also have Eagle Eye, which extends the range off of your auto attacks. This is great for newbies because it increases the amount of safe distance between you and your opponents, and also having that increased distance forces you to really aim your attacks. So increasing your accuracy with your autos is not only going to make you a better Hachiman player, but a better hunter overall, and this can also apply to your mage class as well that have ranged autos. I've already talked about the dash and how it can be used as the second part of your combo, but the greatest form of this ability is that you can use it to escape, and it's extremely reliable in that regard. And last but not least, we have Mounted Archery, which is your ultimate, and this can be used to escape as well, in addition to your dash, but it's quite powerful in chasing down enemies with real low health, or attacking 5 people at once if you see them all grouped up. It's a really reliable way to get off your damage. And last but not least, you have a passive that really is a no-brainer. Just by hitting auto attacks are going to help with your mana regeneration, so it's one less thing that you have to think about in terms of managing your overall mana consumption. So this concludes our top 5 list. I hope you enjoyed it. If your list differs, please feel free to go down to that comment section, leave your top 5 list, and give a little bit of reasoning why you chose that ordering. And if you did like our video, please be sure to drop a like and a subscribe. And thank you very much again for watching.